The House will come to order. All members take their seats. The clerk will unlock the machine, please, and take the roll. Members will record their presence by pressing the green button on your iPad. Is there any member present not yet recorded? Please hit the green button on your iPad. The clerk will please lock the machine. We have 51 members present. We have a quorum. All rise for the invocation to be delivered by Representative Bello Wilkinson, who will also lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag. Representative Wilkinson.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Almighty God, we ask you hear our prayers as we accept the burden of responsibility of caring for our fellow citizens. Relieve our anxiety and guide us to always look out for the best interests of all who call Rhode Island home. Amen. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, Representative. Next order of business is approval of the journal. Is there any objection to the approval of the journal of the previous day? Hearing none, so ordered. Communications, the next order of business, communications. Do we have any communications? Thank you, Clerk.
Representative Deborah Falella is unable to attend session today, Tuesday, January 26, 2021. Representative Masha Ranglin-Vassell is unable to attend session today, Tuesday, January 26, 2021. Representative Jacqueline Beginski is unable to attend session today, Tuesday, January 26, 2021. Representative Patricia Morgan will be unable to attend session today, Tuesday, January 26, 2021. Chairman Robert E. Craven Sr. is unable to attend session today, Tuesday, January 26, 2021.
Thank you. Received and placed on file, please. The next order of business is new business. Is there any new business? Thank you. Representative Serpa with new business. Representative Chairman Corvasi with new business. Representative McEntee, Representative O'Brien. Representative Ruggiero, Representative Shawcross-Smith. Representative Casimiro, Whip Kazarian. Representative Diaz, do you have new business? Oh. Representative O'Brien, new business? Thank you. Any other new business, please stand so I can see you. If not, we can come back to new business. I would remind you that we have a box in front and there is a box outside the Speaker's office as well. Thank you. Next order of business is today's calendar. I do believe we do not have a calendar. Are there any announcements or introductions, please? Representative McEntee.
Mr. Speaker, I have a solemnization of marriage for immediate consideration. It's been approved by the majority leader and the minority leader. I'd just like to announce that Megan E. McEntee may join Courtney Lee Adham and Gian Francis I.C. Russo in marriage within Wakefield, Rhode Island on February 14th, 2021. I ask that we pass this tonight, Mr. Speaker, because time is of the essence.
Thank you. Please send it up, and we'll have a machine vote in a moment on that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Representative Solomon. And then after that will be Representative Diaz.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, members of the House. I have a resolution for immediate consideration with the permission of the Majority Leader and Minority Leader, and it would express the condolences on the passing of Assunta D'Ambra, who's the matriarch of the D'Ambra family.
Thank you very much. Please send it up, Chairman. Thank you. Representative Diaz.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And today I have the sad experience to go to the funeral to a person who I respect and admire a lot. He was one of the Dominican pioneers in the state of Rhode Island. He came early 70s and set the path for the Dominican community. I will ask Mr. Speaker and members of the House to adjourn in memory of Bienvenido Garcia. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Representative, and our condolences to the whole Garcia family as well. Thank you. Yes, Representative Casey, please. And then Whip Kazarian. So ordered. Thank you. Representative Kazarian, please.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I have a House resolution with the permission from both leaders extending condolences on the passing of the Honorable William A. Castro. He's a former state senator from East Providence.
Thank you very much. I knew Senator Castro. Our condolences to his whole family. All the resolutions will be left out after if any additional members want to sign as well. Do you have the bills for consideration, the marriage bill? Yep. I have an act relating to solemnization of marriages presented by Representative McEntee. The LC number, we're going to take a machine vote on this. The LC number is LC 000928. This act would allow Megan McEntee to join Courtney Lee Adham and Gian Francis Russo in the marriage on or about February 14th within the village of Wakefield, Rhode Island. The act has been moved by Representative McEntee, seconded by Leader Blazajewski. Any other seconds? Representative Mag, if you want to use your light, you may. Thank you. Representative Messier, Representative McGaugh, Representative McNamara, Representative Solomon, Representative Tanzi, Representative Hull, Representative Cortrevian, Representative Agello, Representative Azanaro, Representative Ruggiero, Representative Morales, Representative Bia, Representative O'Brien. Representative Kazar. I think I said Morales. Representative Morales is also seconded. All those in favor, please vote green. Any opposed, vote red. I think the machine is unlocked. If you're present, please vote. Clerk, please lock the machine. We have 56 in the affirmative. The act passes. Thank you. I have a resolution for immediate consideration from myself and Representative Solomon and Blazajewski, Azanaro, Filippi, and Amore on the passing of the Honorable William A. Castro. All those in favor say aye. Any opposed? The ayes have it. I have a resolution for congratulations by Leader Blazajewski, seconded by Leader Filippi. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed, the ayes have it. I have one expressing condolences from the House from Leader Blazajewski, seconded by Leader Filippi. All those in favor say aye. Thank you. Ayes have it. Thank you. Thank you. I have a House resolution expressing condolences on the passing of Anasanta Diambra from Chairman Solomon and many others. All those in favor, the act is seconded by myself, Solomon, McNamara, Wilkinson, Blazajewski, and Filippi. All those in favor, please say aye. Any opposed? The ayes have it. It's passed. Any other resolutions? I know. Okay, Representative Shawcross-Smith, please.
Good afternoon. I have a resolution for immediate consideration with the consent of the majority and minority leaders in honor of Lois Lyle, mother of former Jack Lyle, a childhood friend and colleague. Thank you.
Thank you very much, and our condolences to the whole Lyle family. Please send that up. Representative Williams.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I just wanted to make sure that even though I voted on one of our items on our calendar, I wanted to be recorded as present.
So ordered, absolutely. I'll get to that in a minute. If there are any more requests for late arrivals, I'll mark you present. Representative Filippi.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I have a resolution for immediate consideration with the permission of myself and Majority Leader Blazajewski. It's on the passing of my friend James Jacquet from Westerly. He was a great guy, and he made you feel good about being in politics. And thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Please set it up and extend our condolences to you, your friend, and his family as well. Thank you. Representative Lima?
Geraldo.
Geraldo, I'm sorry, I can't see you. And you got to do your light for me, Josh, next time. It's okay, stay there, next time, because I can't see, but please go ahead, Representative Geraldo.
Mr. Speaker, just a request to be recorded in the present for today.
So ordered, thank you. Okay. I have a House resolution expressing sincere condolences on the passing of Lois Lyle. She was the mother of all of our good friend, Representative Lyle. It was moved by Representative Shawcross, seconded by Leader Blazajewski, Leader Filippi, and many others of the House. All those in favor, please say aye. Any opposed? Thank you. The ayes have it. And the last resolution I have for today, expressing condolences on the passing of James Jacquet from Representative Filippi, seconded by Leader Blazajewski and several others. All those in favor, please say aye. Any opposed? The ayes have it. Thank you. Are there any other announcements or introductions? Representative Phillips. Certainly, new business. Representative Phillips with new business. Representative Casimiro with new business. Any other calls for new business? Chairman Corvesi.
Announcement, Mr. Speaker.
Please proceed.
House Rules Committee will be meeting at the Rise in room 35. Important vote tonight. Please come and attend.
Thank you very much. Representative Felix. No? Okay. Representative Blazajewski, please.
Announcement, Mr. Speaker.
Leader Blazajewski, I'm sorry.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Announcement, please.
Proceed.
Ladies and gentlemen of the House, as a reminder, we will not be in session tomorrow, Wednesday, January 27th. However, we recommend your participation in 2 virtual training sessions that will be happening. Please check your emails because you've received links to both training sessions. The first is at 3 p.m. with Jason Grammett, the Executive Director of the Rhode Island Ethics Commission, who will host a virtual ethics training, giving all members an opportunity to discuss several topics, including financial disclosure, financial statements, gift regulations, recusals, conflicts of interest, complaints, and advisory opinions. Mr. Grammett will be available to answer all of our questions. Attorneys will receive 1 general CLE credit for participating in the presentation. Secondly, tomorrow at 4:30, the Secretary of State's office will be hosting a virtual notary public training session. Attorneys can also receive a CLE credit for participating in this session as well. The training will be helpful for those who are already notaries public, and also for representatives who have not yet submitted an application to receive your free notary commission in your capacity as a state representative. Additionally, Mr. Speaker, all newly elected representatives will receive an email today from LexisNexis, which is a legal research tool regarding activating their online accounts. Please check your email. It is important that you activate your account by the end of the week, as the temporary password is set to expire then, and that you need that to initiate the process. An additional announcement, please contact Sue Pegnan in Law Revision or Danica Iacocca in my office if you have any questions related to legislation. If there are any representatives that have any problem with their LexisNexis account, you can also contact Sue and Danica, and if you need help with those issues. Additionally, members should leave their name placards on their chairs. Behind all your chairs, you'll see a nice placard with your name on it. Please don't remove those. Please leave them there. Otherwise, we have to get them reprinted and resituated every time we're here. So please leave those placards there. And finally, new IDs will be issued to every representative on Thursday. They'll be available in a table at the back of the auditorium. And we will be in session on Thursday, January 28th at 4. If the Rules Committee gives passage to the rules tonight, and you just heard the announcement from Chairman Corvesi, we will be considering an adoption of our rules at the Thursday session. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Leader. Any other announcement? Representative Bennett. Representative Felix.
Hi, Mr. Speaker. Just wanted to let you know I'm here. I just want to be marked present.
Certainly, so ordered. Thank you so much. Representative Bennett, Chairman Bennett.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'd just like to congratulate Evan Shanley on the arrival of his baby daughter, Lucy. I'd like to congratulate Meredith and his son, Max, and his mother, Mary.
And I will say, Chairman, she is a very beautiful baby. She takes after her mother, thank God. Is any other announcements or introductions? Is there any objection to transmitting all matters on the clerk's desk to Her Excellency the Governor, the Honorable Senate, and the Secretary of State forthwith? Leader Blazajewski moves that the House adjourn in memory of James Jacquet, Asanta D'Ambra, Helen Major, Lois Lyle, and William Castro. Seconded by Leader Filippi. All those stand for a moment of silence, please. The House is adjourned and the desk remains open. Thank you.
Asanta Sue D'Ambra of Warwick passed away on January 21, 2021. She was the devoted wife of the late Americo D'Ambra. She was born in Providence, the daughter of the late Chiara Grasso and the late Rocco Grasso. And whereas a hardworking woman, Asanta D'Ambra had worked for many years as an administrative assistant for D'Ambra Construction. Prior to that, she was employed as a lunch aide for the Warwick School Department and the ARA Food Services. As a young woman, she worked in the plumbing department at City Hall Hardware in Providence. And whereas Asanta D'Ambra leaves behind her children, Michael D'Ambra and his wife Patricia, John D'Ambra and his wife Janet, Jerry D'Ambra Sr., and Lisa D'Ambra. She was the devoted grandmother of 12 grandchildren: Michael D'Ambra, Mary Ann D'Ambra, Cindy D'Ambra, Robert D'Ambra, Jeffrey D'Ambra, Melinda D'Ambra, Michaela D'Ambra, Jerry D'Ambra Jr., David D'Ambra, Daria D'Ambra, Holly Fricker, and Brian Burke. She also leaves behind 17 great-grandchildren: Michael D'Ambra, Joseph D'Ambra, Donald D'Ambra, Jane D'Ambra, Alexandra D'Ambra, Johnny Caraturo, Joshua D'Ambra, Isabella D'Ambra, Robert D'Ambra, Jordan D'Ambra, Jacob D'Ambra, Morgan D'Ambra, Emerson D'Ambra, Felicity Fricker, Lance Burke, and Meyer and Mason Cabral, and many nieces and nephews. Mrs. D'Ambra was predeceased by her daughter, Mary Linda D'Ambra, her sisters Marie Restivo, Antonetta Grasso, and Rose Landry, and her brothers Costanza Grasso, Santo Grasso, Saverio Grasso, Anthony Grasso, and John Grasso. And whereas the most important job in Mrs. D'Ambra's life was that of raising her family, which was her greatest joy in life, she was a beloved wife and mother, and while she will be greatly missed by her family and many friends, the memory of her joyful, loving spirit will live on forever in the hearts of all who knew her. Now, therefore be it resolved that this House of Representatives of the State of Rhode Island hereby expresses its deepest condolences to the D'Ambra family on the passing of Assunta D'Ambra, and be it further resolved that the Secretary of State be and hereby is authorized and directed to transmit duly certified copies of this resolution to Michael D'Ambra, John D'Ambra, Jerry D'Ambra Sr., and Lisa D'Ambra. Yes, she put more in there, I told you.
Oh, maybe that's where it ended up?
In that box over here? Right here. House resolution extending condolences on the passing of the Honorable William A. Castro. Whereas it is with sadness that this House has learned of the passing of the Honorable William A. Castro, a well-respected former Rhode Island State Senator and the beloved husband of the late Lois Ambrosino, devoted father of Kimberly DaCosta and her husband David, and the very proud grandfather of Nicholas, William, and Camille Lucia. And whereas, born in Taunton, Massachusetts, Mr. Castro was the son of the late Manuel and Rose Castro, and the brother of Barbara Martin and the late Thomas, Robert, and George Castro. He grew up in the Fox Point section of Providence, where he attended the Clary School and was a graduate of St. Raphael Academy. And whereas, subsequent to moving to the city of East Providence, Mr. Castro began what would become a lifelong devotion to public service. In November of 1966, he was elected to the Rhode Island Senate, representing constituents in District 42. Well respected by his fellow senators, he was elected by unanimous consent to serve as the President pro tempore for the 1979-1982, at which time he retired. And whereas, in addition to his tenure in the Senate, the Honorable Bill Castro was employed as manager for the Traffic Development Division of Bonanza Bus Lines and was the director of sales for the former Providence Reds Hockey Club. And whereas, upon leaving the State Senate, the Honorable Bill Castro was appointed as the administrator of the Rhode Island Workers' Compensation Court by Governor J. Joseph Garrahy, a position he held until 1990. He was also devoted to his faith and was a longtime parishioner of St. Xavier Church, where he served as a trustee and a member of the Finance Committee and as the general chairman of the Catholic Charity Fund Appeal. And whereas, always proud of his Portuguese heritage, Mr. Castro was awarded the Medal of Solidarity and the Commodore of the Order of Prince Henry the Navigator by the President of the Republic of Portugal. He was also actively involved in a panoply of altruistic community organizations, including the Holy Ghost Beneficial Brotherhood, Prince Henry Club, and Amigos da Cabrera. He was an avid baseball fan and had served as the former Assistant Director Administrator for Little League Baseball Incorporated, as well as past president of the East Providence Central Little League. Whereas, the Honorable Bill Castro consistently demonstrated an abiding dedication to serving the best interests of his community and our state, and he will be dearly missed by all who had the good fortune to be a part of his extraordinary life. Now, therefore be it resolved that this House of Representatives of the State of Rhode Island hereby offers its sincere condolences on the passing of the Honorable William A. Castro, and be it further resolved that the Secretary of State be and hereby is authorized and directed to transmit a duly certified copy of this resolution to Kimberly de Castro and family. House Resolution extending deepest condolences on the passing of Willard Bill Rapley. Whereas it is with sincere sadness that this House has learned of the passing of Bill Rapley, a renowned veteran political reporter and the beloved father of 5 daughters, Georgia, Annika, Chesley, Karma, and Layla Rapley. And whereas Rap, as he was commonly known in journalistic and political circles, was a brilliant journalist and person of accurate perspicacity who thoughtful and relentless pursued the news in an inspiring career that spanned almost 40 years. And whereas Mr. Rapley was born in Houston and raised in Cambridge, Massachusetts, but the Ocean State was always his true home. He was the son of Ann and Fuzz Crompton and the brother of Tim Rapley and the late Charles Rapley. His nascent career began in the early 1980s working as a photographer-reporter for cable television in New Bedford. He subsequently spent 7 years at WLNE, where he reported on numerous events and established himself as the station's environmental reporter. He also held reporting positions in Boston and New York. And whereas for almost 18 years, Mr. Rapley was a political reporter with WJAR Channel 10. During his tenure at the station, he hosted the public affairs program, 10 News Conference, moderated debates, reported from the New Hampshire primary and national conventions, and interviewed countless local, state, and federal politicians. Most recently, he worked with Rhode Island's public television station, WSBE, where he worked on longer-form investigative projects and was the co-host of Rhode Island PBS Weekly. And whereas Mr. Rapley's comprehensive reporting of the Rhode Island's political issues and events has been well-reasoned and thoughtful, and his reputation for fully appreciating the power and intensity of ethically reporting the news earned him the admiration of both his peers and those he sought to interview. And whereas, in addition, Mr. Rapley earned a plethora of rewards and nominations for his coverage within the Rhode Island State House and Washington, D.C., included the Associated Press Awards, a regional Emmy Award, a national award from the Association of Capitol Reporters and Editors, and numerous additional accolades. And whereas Bill Rapley was a brilliant journalist, a good friend, an amazing father, and a true gentleman who has left the people of Rhode Island more informed and enlightened by his life's endeavors. His integrity and common sense enriched the lives of all who knew him and set a standard for journalistic excellence that is an inspiration to us all. Now, therefore, be it resolved that this House of Representatives of the State of Rhode Island hereby expresses our deepest sympathies on the passing of Willard Bill Rapley, and be it further resolved that the Secretary of State be and hereby is authorized and directed to transmit a duly certified copy of this resolution to Ann and Fuzz Crompton and family. House Resolution expressing sincere condolences on the passing of Lois A. Lyle. Whereas it is with deep sadness that this House has learned of the passing of Lois A. Lyle, beloved wife of the late John Lyle, and the cherished mother of Nancy Roderick and her husband Edward, Joyce Lyle Freeman and her companion Thomas O'Sullivan, Christine Canham and her husband David, Jean Townsend and her husband Timothy, Susan Paulina and her husband Christopher, our friend and former colleague, the Honorable John Lyle Jr. and his wife Lori, Robert Lyle and his wife Jean, and Alexander Lyle and his wife Eve. She had made her home in the town of Lincoln for over 60 years. And whereas born in the city of Pawtucket, Mrs. Lyle was the daughter of the late Wilfred and Mildred Smith, the sister of the late Doris Bagley, Gail Shelley, and John Smith, and sister-in-law of Paul Shelley, Bonnie Smith, and Ginny Lyle. She was a proud graduate of Pawtucket West High School. And whereas, with a loving personality, Mrs. Lyle created and nurtured a marriage that flourished and a home that was warm and welcoming. She doted on her family, particularly her 12 grandchildren and 17 great-grandchildren who were the light of her life. And whereas, in addition to making a wonderful home for her family, Mrs. Lyle had been employed as the Director of Special Projects for the Blackstone Valley Community Action Program before retiring. She had also been a longtime parishioner of Chapel Street Congregational Church in Lincoln, where she had often volunteered in the church's thrift store and had served on the diaconate and was a life member of the Lime Rock Chapter Order of the Eastern Star. And whereas Mrs. Lyle had been one of the first patients in the Memory and Aging Program at Butler Hospital under the care of Dr. Salloway, and at the time of her passing had been a resident of the Holiday Retirement Home. And whereas there is no doubt that Lois Lyle, a loving wife, mother, grandmother, great-grandmother, and friend to many, left an indelible mark on the lives of those she knew and loved, and she will be dearly missed. Now, therefore, be it resolved that this House of Representatives of the State of Rhode Island hereby expresses our deepest sympathies to the Lyle family on the passing of Lois A. Lyle, and be it further resolved that the Secretary of State be and hereby is authorized and directed to transmit a duly certified copy of this resolution to the Honorable John Lyle Jr. and family. House Resolution extending sincere condolences on the passing of James G. Jacquet. Whereas it is with utmost sadness that this House has learned of the passing of James G. Jacquet, beloved husband of the late Carol Jacquet, adored father of Alice Rivera and her husband Uriel Rivera, and the cherished Grampy Jim to his grandson, Hunter Knight Rivera, for whom he knew no bounds. And whereas James Jacquet was born in New York City to the late Leon and Francis Jacquet and was the younger brother of the late F. Lee Jacquet, he attended Cornell University, where he studied economics and political history and subsequently served our country with honor and distinction in the United States Army, where he was awarded the Medal of Good Conduct. And whereas, upon returning from his military service in Germany, Mr. Jacquet returned to his family's home in Manhasset, New York, where he was reunited with a young lady he had met during his high school years, Carol Reeder. Friendship soon blossomed into romance, and the two were married, making their home in Port Washington, New York. And whereas an industrious man, Mr. Jacquet was employed in myriad financial positions, including as a program manager in the finance industry of IBM and at Chase Manhattan Bank in New York City, where he worked directly for David Rockefeller and often golfed with the Rockefeller family. He had also expanded his education, attending the NYU Stern School of Business. And whereas during his employment at Chase, Mr. Jacquet and his wife relocated to Briarcliff Manor, where they resided for 27 years. He later became a financial advisor for Dean Witter, was the first vice president of investments at Morgan Stanley, and ultimately served as the first vice president of investment and assistant branch manager with Wachovia Securities, retiring in 2006. Whereas, upon his retirement, the Jacquets moved to Westerly, which they had developed a love for while taking their daughter to sailing camp in Point Judith and visits during her college years at Roger Williams University in Bristol. And whereas, too soon after retiring, Mr. Jacquet became a widower, but his love of life, his daughter, and many dear friends were always by his side. He played golf regularly at the Wickapaw Golf Club, joined many clubs like the Wesley Silver Sneakers, was a member of the South County GOP and the Rhode Island Republican Party, where he served as treasurer, traveled all over the world, enjoyed a challenging game of Scrabble or Monopoly, and found much comfort and joy in his family and friends, especially his beloved companion, Donna Sanfankin. And whereas James Jacquet was a trustworthy soul with kind eyes and a warm heart, whose life was blessed with happiness and love, he will forever be remembered and dearly missed now. Therefore be it resolved that this House of Representatives of the State of Rhode Island hereby extends deepest condolences on the passing of James G. Jacquet. And be it further resolved that the Secretary of State be and hereby is authorized and directed to transmit a duly certified copy of this resolution to Alice Rivera and family.